Is it Wednesday already? My goodness, the week is running by. I hope you guys have been having a great week so far. Today, I was thinking about the question of how do we love? Hey, Mandeep, nice to see you. Um, and when I think about that, I think about the question, what is the circle of relationships? Hey, Knox, Knox on the beat. Haven't seen you in ages. How are you doing, girl? Good to see you. Mm, I know. Hello, hello. um, so where have you been? What's been up with you? So I was thinking today about love and how we express love. And we're talking. I'm not a girl, am I? Okay, good to know. Good to know. Mm. Well, where have you been? What have you been up to? If you tell me a bit about yourself, then I will know. um, so, how do we love? How do we express love to somebody? I realize that, just like even for myself, and I think this is probably true for a lot of us, based on all of the family therapists that exist, is that we usually express love in the way that we feel love, in the way that we want to be loved, right? So. For some of us, that might be freedom, right? We want to feel free. And so we give our partner that freedom. Maybe we like affection or touches. And so that's how we are with our partner. Some people like gifts. And so they often give gifts to other people. And then they feel really upset when nobody gives gifts back to them. Right? Um, so there's many ways, and there's a book on it called The Five Languages of Love, right? But it's not just that. It's not just seeing. There's so many ways in which somebody wants to, in which a person feels loved. They feel the expression of love. For some people, it's words of affirmation. Knox says, "I feel like spending time with someone is the best gift." Yes, yeah. So that's a great example. Spending time with someone, quality time, right? Really giving them your focused attention and time. That is a that is like a beautiful gift. So for me, that's an important way to feel that somebody loves me is that we go and we do fun things together, that we actually spend time relaxing together, right? And so it's important. Why is it important to figure out how the other person wants to be loved? Because if we are loving someone in the way that we want to be loved, then they won't feel it. They won't be able to receive it in the same way, right? But it's also important for us to express to them how we want to be loved. And sometimes that can take some looking and digging deep to figure out what that is. How do we feel loved? How do we feel that expression of love? And how and let them know what that is, and that it's okay that it's not the same thing. Now what's the tricky part? Hey, Black Curly Orchard. All right, what's the tricky part? The tricky part is when someone's expression of how they want to be loved is maybe something that we don't, not only that we don't uh, like, it's not only something that we don't experience, not a way we experience love, maybe we actually don't like it, right? Maybe it's something that it goes so far as that we actually don't like to do that thing, right? So for some people, that might be PDA, public displays of affection. Or for some people, it might be buying gifts for someone. They really hate going shopping, right? And doing that. So what happens if the way that the person you're with wants to be loved is a way that you actually don't like? It actually makes you feel like, oh, right? Then there's the real challenge, right? Because it's not just like, oh well, you want me to say sweet things to you, you want me to be encouraging or affirming or whatever, right? It might be something we actually don't like to do. And So what do we do then, right? What do we do then? How do we deal with that? Um, is the answer to tell them, well, look, I know that you like this, but I really don't like it. I don't like doing it, and I don't want someone doing it to me, and I don't want to have to do it for somebody else, Or is it to, actually go and say, okay, well, if I really love this person, then I will try my best to do for them what they want, even if it's not something I actually enjoy, right? Knox says, tell that person how they feel being loved makes you feel. It's a question. Should you do that? Should you tell that person that the way in which they want to be loved makes you feel? I mean, I think I'm always for open communication. So I think that, in the right circumstances, it might be helpful, right? But I mean, there's also really wrong circumstances to do that, where if you say, I just really hate shopping for presents and I don't want to get you a present, or I really hate, checking in, so I don't want to do that, right? It makes me feel like constricted and everything, right? Then what? It's going to make that other person feel really bad, right? So you may end up in a fight or an argument, or they may be like, well, I don't want you to do what you don't want to do. So, you're just not the right person for me. Or it may go to that stage if you tell them that, and it's in the wrong scenario, right? So I think it's important and difficult in relationships. I struggle with it, is to find the time to actually, the right timing to talk about something. And if it's something difficult, there just may never be the right timing when you can do it without a fight or an argument. Um, but I'm always looking for that that hope. Knox says, I just spend time because I can't afford gifts. LOL. Yes. Well, I think that your time is a gift, right? Time is a gift, and that's definitely for sure. And also, I mean, if gifts are important to someone, there's always ways you can create gifts, right? Gifts don't have to be expensive. They could be something that just shows thought, right? Like taking some photos and making them into a nice, like, photo book online or something, right? There's gifts that you can give that actually don't cost any money. They just show that you paid attention to something, right? There's even something cheap you can buy at Ross that's like not expensive, and it still, shows that you took the care to think about that person. So if that is something that person likes, then, it is possible to do it without it being too expensive. But if it's like, they only want a Cartier watch or a Louis Vuitton bag, well then, if that's the only kind of gift they accept, then they might be in the wrong, they might be in the wrong circle, right? So um, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you really love the person, there are find ways to give them what they want, even if it's not to show them love in the way that they experience love. Even if it's not how I might show love, or how I might want to be loved, or how even I prefer to show love, right? And so, that's the question I've been thinking about. How far do you go with that? Knox says, lots of laughy, smiley faces. That's true. Yes. How far do you go with that, right? How far are you comfortable going with that? And I think that's a very good question, because that really becomes the thing of the relationship is, are you comfortable giving somebody what they feel that they need to feel loved? Or is it going to be something that's just too much against who you are, right? So that's a big question, because in any relationship, it's a value exchange, right? As we talk about in the third circle of the deal, there's always a value exchange, that you're giving. One person is showing love in the way another person is giving love, right? Or taking care of the other person, or doing something nice for the other person, cooking for them, driving them, right? There's always, in every relationship, there's a continuous exchange of value. And so sometimes we're like, well, I'm giving you something valuable. Here it is. I'm giving you all this great value, but it's not the value that person wants. So it's not valuable to them, right? So then is it really value? Is it really a value exchange? If you're trying to give someone something that they don't value and you're saying this is part of our value exchange, then how is it really valuable, right? If I'm trying to buy a car off of you and I have, a set of, some kind of mint Superman dolls or something, right? That they may be worth a lot of money. And, but you're like, no, sorry, I don't want your mint Superman dolls. They have no value to me. I only want cash. That's it, right? Then you're in this place, right? But to somebody else, that might be the best deal in the world. And they just, because they attach value to those Superman dolls, not just to the cash, right? So that's just the example of what it is in a value exchange. That's something we have to think about, because often we just think about deals and exchanges and value, and we're just thinking in money or some, material thing like that. But all our relationships are value exchanges, and yet sometimes what we value is not what the other person values. And what they want to receive in this value exchange might not be what we find valuable or even what we want to give. And so, how much does that weigh? I guess you have to ask yourself, what's that weight of how much do I care about this person and want to be in a relationship where I'm willing to do that? Hello, Mark Hostel. Nice to see you. Hey, Rockin' UN. We're talking about love and the value exchange, and what it is to love somebody without how, when we love someone, is it really love if we are not showing them love in the way that they choose to experience it, in the way that they can receive love, rather than the way we wish to give love, right? So that's some of the things I was thinking about today. I hope that those thoughts are helpful for you. And that's a way to apply the framework in relationship. That's a way to apply it in a relationship, because we're recognizing that there is an exchange of value, and recognizing that the value being exchanged in a relationship has to be valuable to the person receiving it. Because if it's not valuable to them, then has there really been an exchange in value? Right? Has there really been an exchange? If you're just giving something you think is valuable, or even something that's easy for you, right? Versus what they find is valuable or what they want to receive. So anyway, that's a little demonstration of the framework in action in relationships, and how it can help us to think through some of these sticky problems, right? And what it really comes down to is your choice. That's what it comes down to in the end. It has to be your choice, right? And what I mean by that, your choice is to say, do I love this person and this relationship enough where I want to do that for them? If it is a huge burden, if it is a huge struggle, if it goes against my core values, maybe if it goes against what I think is right or wrong morally, then you have to make a real decision, because you don't want to go against your core values or what you think is right or wrong, for sure. At the same time, if you're like, this is a struggle for me, but I love this person enough that I'm willing to go through this struggle and this changing process in order to give to the person what they are asking for, what they want, then that's okay, right? That's okay, because that's your choice. And if you choose that this is not cool with me, I don't want to do that, I don't want to be responsible to give somebody that, that's okay too. That is all right too. You don't have to think that you have to do that. But understanding that it's your choice, and understanding that they have the right to be loved in the way that they are asking to be loved, right? Just as you have the right to be loved in the way you are asking to be loved. And that if neither party is willing to give that to the other, then maybe you're in the wrong relationship, right? It always goes easier if, it's much easier for sure if you both have similar ways in which you like to give and receive love. That makes it way easier in a relationship. But rarely is there going to be a perfect match in that way. So in that case, that's when we have to start applying the framework and say, okay, what do I give? What am I willing to give? What do I feel good about giving? What is it they are actually want and ask for? And but the same principles apply in work, right? They apply in work. They apply in any relationship. They apply in business relationships. When you have two business partners that are saying, look, this is what I need you to do as part of your role in the business. This is what I'm doing, right? And coming together and making sure that both people are fulfilling their role, what they said, what the business needs, right? It's the same thing. It's the same kind of principle that governs all of these relationships. So I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Nice to see you, Isley. Nice to see all of you. And I will talk to you tomorrow.